best friend, welcome back to my channel. It's your favorite Southern Psychic, Lele in the building. And today we got another reading, so go ahead and get your drinkity drink, go get your snackity snack, and let's get it popping. Now, if you found this message is going to find you whenever you're ready to take a chance on yourself. And it does feel like this energy of like you're going through this like reinvention, okay? And so through this reinvention, it feels like maybe you feel like you're starting over or something like that, and you're finally deciding to do things your way instead of doing things the way other people want you to, okay? And so definitely, when it comes to, here's something about like in psychology, like if you think about like content algorithm or like even like ad algorithm and things like that, like what things are like presented to you online and things like that, a lot of times it's like this instant gratification that we get hungry for, like, and it's a reflection of our relationships outside of ourselves too in the physical world. I'm literally hearing F the algorithm, or F what other people think or say, or F what people want me to do, or what, whatever it's like society's trying to push onto you, okay? It definitely feels like you've jumped into situations way too quickly in the past and you got burned, where you either got burned out or you were feeling like why am I even going down this path? Like, that's not even the person I want to be with, or like, that's not the job that I want, right? And so now you're kind of in this like place of a standstill where it's like, okay, well, let me just like really backtrack and ask myself the deeper questions of what I really want for myself, right? Instead of just doing things because other people want that for you or want that from you, right? It definitely feels like, you've had people, like the wrong crowd of people want things from you, okay? And so now this is the time period where you kind of stand in your independence. This is a time period of independence. We have Lilith coming through, and it says denied, rejected, misunderstood. She stands in her power and embraces her truth. Okay, so with Lilith coming through, we also have trust and we have regenerate, okay? And so it's interesting we have Lilith coming through here, okay? Lilith with the solo journey, it says walk alone and see anew. So this is a time period where you're feeling like you're reinventing yourself, and like you might not have like a lot of people in your crowd, and like some of the people that know you, like they might be looking down on you currently because they're like, well, like, you know what I'm saying? Like whenever, let's say you quit a job or something like that, for example, and it's like you knew that job wasn't meant for you and you knew that you were destined for greater than this. It feels like, no longer selecting a counterfeit life and actually deciding to do things that you really want to do for yourself. Okay, definitely a time period of reinvention. And I do want to say through this solo journey, it is going to be hard because you're going to have things that are going to be presented to you, like get rich quick schemes kind of thing, or like temptations from like relationships is what I'm hearing. And it just feels like this time period is a time period to do what's right for you, right? And I'm definitely hearing, it might be almost also hearing like a trauma effect of like even in jumping in relationships, let's say too quickly or something like that. It definitely feels like, with that, like there's that feeling of I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be alone. And that's the reason why you would always sacrifice your own integrity for your relationships or for your job offers and things like that, okay? So this is a time period, Spirit saying, of you being disciplined and dedicated. And just because something's not coming quick enough is what I'm hearing, doesn't mean that it's not meant for you. Because like I said, with algorithms and stuff online, a lot of times like we're kind of programmed to want to like have the next have the next thing right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like that instant gratification that you're starting to purge from, okay? So this is a time period of purging the instant gratification and to just take it slow. Take it slow with yourself. Take it slow in a relationship if you're meeting, online dating and things like that, for example, right? Instead of just jumping into that thing just because that's the first thing that's presented to you, okay? I hope that's making sense. We have you are worthy coming through in intuitive AF as well. So that's definitely showing me especially with the Lilith energy and walking this path on your own, regardless of people's opinion. Let's say if you like quit your job, or if you decided to like do a 180 makeover with yourself, or it just feels like a complete makeover in regards to every aspect of your life, okay? And so yeah, you're going to have some people who are going to see this change and they're going to see you do things differently or quit that job, whatever it is, it could be anything. Just take this as it resonates, apply it where it fits. But you're going to have people, of course, who are going to have their little opinions about it. They're going to say, oh, well, you're not stable. Oh, you're not, just because you're not settling for that relationship, or you're not settling for that job or whatever, they're all going to have their opinions because honestly, people live in fear, right? They live in fear for survival, and they think, well, you can't be by yourself, or you can't, just uppity leave that job because that's job security. When all in actuality, it's like there's something else for you is what I'm hearing, okay? So just know that these are NPC backdrop characters is what I'm hearing. And of course, like I said, we have reinvention and renovation coming through. So that's the time period you're in right now. And you're seeing this message because you're finally ready to take bold leaps, okay? And it's going to be a little bit scary doing this on your own, and to finally like learn how to like know yourself and love yourself is what I'm hearing, especially with the self-love card. We have milestones right underneath that. Okay, so milestones is definitely showing like this is a major milestone in your maturity, right? Because it definitely feels like I said, that instant gratification of, oh, I don't want to be by myself, or I don't want to be looked at in a certain light because I'm doing things differently or not doing what people want me to do, right? And sometimes, you know, the best thing that you can do is do what's right for you and your soul, okay? So definitely this is a time period of living in truth, and Spirit wants you to trust this process. It says all of your efforts were not in vain, for milk and honey are on their way. So rest assured, the milk and honey is on its way, but with this regeneration energy, it says after destruction comes new life. Your destiny awaits, just give it some time. So this is a time period of patience, and as you build something from the ground up, it feels like you're building yourself from the ground up. That way you can either A, be better in your next relationship, or B, like, you know, you're really intuitive, like I said, right? And so like you don't want to just say, you know, let's say you're applying for jobs or something like that. It's just an example, and like you kind of cast your net out there, and like you the first person, like it's like, so I'm hearing like there's a job offer that was offered to you, it could be, and then like you want to instinctively just go ahead and jump on that job instead of waiting it out for something that you really want. Okay, so there's something that you really want. Spirit wants you to hold the faith and hold the front, okay? Because it definitely feels like Spirit saying it's on its way to you, but it's going to take a little bit of discipline, some dedication, okay? And it's going to take a little bit of patience with this, okay? And so like I said, like you're going to get tempted. There are going to be things that are going to want to get you off of this path. Like you've already made your mind up about something, okay? And so as you've made your mind up about it, you're going to have things on the sideline that are going to try to distract your attention. You know what I'm saying? Like just get you off path, or be like, oh, well, okay, I guess I'll settle for that. Or I guess I'll settle here at this job or whatever, because that's the first thing offered to me. And Spirit's like, no, there's something that you really want. It's meant for you, but it's not going to come as quickly as you want it. Like I said, the good things take time is what I'm hearing, okay? So definitely this time period, like you're starting to realize it. It's definitely giving like Saturn kind of energy where you're having to take your time and do the inner shadow work, and just to really breathe through this process of becoming this thing that you really want for yourself, okay? So let's get it popping and see with some tarot. All right, Spirit, tell me more about this energy. What's going on with my collective? Yes, justice and balance. Justice is here for you. You're coming back into restoration and balance, okay? And I'm going to come back to this regenerate card. If you see this imagery of this artwork I made, okay, see there's a tree that's cut down here. And like in the background, she has a vision of what it can be, right? So something has been cut away, something that has, you know, it might have felt like it was a loss, or it feels like, you know, like I said, with that Lilith energy and the solo journey, being the lone wolf is what you're doing, okay? And through this process, continue to have this vision is what I'm hearing here, okay? And things are coming back into balance for you with the justice energy. So justice is here and on your side. And like I said, you do have some people who are going to have their opinions about this. Like, I'm also hearing for somebody, it could be something like, let's say, trying to hook you up with their friend's girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I'm just going to hold out for the right one, right? It just definitely feels like this is a time period of getting back reacquainted with your core values. That way you don't settle for situations with places, people, jobs, whatever it is, that doesn't actually line up with who you are. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing that was the mistake that you made in the past, was settling for situations, peoples, and places who didn't really reflect to you like your spiritual core values, right? You have certain values and you have to make sure that it's lining up with you. The Ace of Wands, inspiration, exactly. Okay, so we do have this reboot of inspiration happening with you. Like I said, that reinvention, it's a new beginning that's happening for you. Yeah, the devil restriction, okay? Okay, so with the devil energy, this is definitely talking about, it could be addictions or just like feeling like, you know, you're bound to one path. The Spirit's saying you're not actually bound to anything. You can literally pick up and leave right now. Like you have free will. Okay, so you're not bound to anyone or anything, any situation, even though it's like, you know, that fear mindset of living in fear where it's like, well, I'm stuck here. I can't go anywhere else, or I can't, you know, I have to settle here in this relationship or this job, whatever it is. Like Spirit's saying this is a time to break away from the shackles, okay? The Magician, creation, look, taking the power back. Okay, we have three major arcanas: justice, the devil, and we have the Magician. So it's definitely all about taking the power back, reinvention season, like I said, and you're not stuck. You're not stuck anywhere, okay? You don't have to be anywhere you don't want to be is what I'm hearing here, okay? Let's clarify the justice energy. Spirit, clarify justice. What's this justice about? I'm here, that's all. You can go your own way. Go your own way. You could call it another lonely day. The Five of Swords, defeat. Yeah, justice with defeat. Yeah, exactly. Look, there have been things, it's like you felt defeated in situations. Maybe there were situations where you really try to tough it out. You really try to stick it out in the long run, right? Because, you know, you don't want to seem like you're flaky or anything like that. But Spirit's saying that what's happened is that there's justice actually being restored. And I know that you don't see it right now. Maybe you are still feeling like a bit of a sting from, like, it could be arguments with people and like you felt like maybe there wasn't closure in these situations. But Spirit's saying that there's restoration happening, and so whatever is said or done to you, I'm also hearing it could have been like at a job or something like that. Like, I'm hearing justice is happening for you. Okay, things are about to go your way. Okay, clarify the Ace of Wands here. What is this all about? Ace of Wands, Temperance, just breathe. It's all about healing, okay? So time is healing all the wounds is what's coming through here, okay? And so definitely through this time period of going solo, and it's almost like you're rediscovering things about yourself, or it's almost like you're picking up where you left off, where before you were kind of distracted with things that didn't really serve you, right? And so now through this time period, viewing the solo journey as a time of rediscovery. That's what's coming through here. It's a time of rediscovery and self-reflection, but it's like you're coming back to life, right? Where your energy was drained and depleted in places that really didn't serve you. And it taught you a lesson. That's what I'm hearing here. Coming back to that justice with the Five of Swords energy, it taught you a lesson in regards to your independence. And it definitely feels like, you know, you were very much self-sacrificing. Like I said, doing things that others wanted you to do. And it was never good enough is what I'm hearing. And so now it's like you're learning how to be good enough for yourself and like having your own criteria, right? Not just allowing certain people in your energy space just because you're lonely or just because, like, you know, you're a people pleaser. It's like you're getting out of that people pleaser energy is what I'm hearing here, okay? Like I said, it's gonna feel a little bit tough at first, you know, having to, you know, learn how to be your own best friend and learn how to, like, you know, get reacquainted with yourself and being comfortable with being by yourself on this journey. But I'm gonna tell you this, like, the more that you're doing that, you're gonna start learning how to love and appreciate your own energy is what I'm hearing here, okay? So it's gonna come to a point where you're gonna love your solitude. You're gonna love, like, you know, just like building your own, like, I'm hearing your own, I'm hearing the words reputation, but it's almost like you're changing your reputation in this, where people thought that you were, you know, just going to go one path, like you were changing the trajectory by doing something completely different, right? And so, like I said, back to that reinvention energy coming through. Now let's clarify this devil. What is this devil spirit? What's going on here? The devil in strength, compassion. Yes, look, the strength card is saying that you're going to triumph over all the things. Like, I'm just definitely feeling like this karmic completion, karmic cycle that you're breaking out of is what's coming through here with, I'm hearing definitely like coping mechanisms and not wanting to feel like alone. And so like you would mask who you truly were, you know what I'm saying, to fit into society, fit into relationships and things like that. And so Spirit's saying that you're finally gaining enough strength and courage. Like I said, if you found this reading, you're finally ready to close the door on that old chapter and, like, you know, that old narrative with these types of situations, right? No longer settling for less than you deserve is what I'm hearing here, okay? Clarify the Magician energy, Spirit. What's the Magician about? Oh, we have the Eight of Wands, Eight of Lightning, action coming through, finally taking action and taking a chance on yourself is what's coming through here. And the Queen of Pentacles, practicality. Okay, so definitely fast movement to abundance, fast movement to your highest ideal timeline is what's coming through here. I want to get one more card. What's this Queen of Pentacles all about, Spirit? Yeah, we have the Eight of Swords. Yeah, this is what you're getting out of, is like being a victim. You don't say, like, I know that you felt like you were misunderstood in situations. It's like you're finally coming to this place of understanding yourself and no longer sitting in that pit, okay? Bottom of the deck, yeah, we have death coming through and we have the Two of Wands planning. So definitely this time period, like I said, you're reinventing yourself. The old is gone. There's no going back to that old narrative or those old people or that old job, whatever it is. It's like there's no going back is what Spirit's saying here. And like I'm hearing like the strongest people usually take the path less traveled. This is a time period to take the path less traveled, okay? And with the Two of Wands, this is all about planning. Yeah, we have the Three of Swords, right? And so definitely this time period, you're going to be like getting out of this rut of this heartbreak and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that shadow work. I'm hearing it's all about, you know, we have that Venus in retrograde that's wrapping up. It's coming to a close, okay? So you've had some clarity in regards to like healing for relationships and burns and things like that. And so yeah, this is a time period of reinvention. You're going to be letting it go. It's Scorpio energy coming through as well. Okay, so let's get up and see some oracle. Let's see some final advice for you, so Spirit. What final advice do you have for my spiritual baddies watching today who are reinventing themselves, who are taking the path less traveled and not caring what people think anymore? Yeah, you're done caring what people think is what I'm hearing. We have growing pains. Okay, so it says healing patience. There's that word again, patience. Be patient with this, okay? And it says it's a process. Yeah, it might feel like growing pains. You know, it's uncomfortable to do things different. It's uncomfortable to break out of addictions and old coping mechanisms, you know. You know, it's like you're breaking out of that default pattern of people pleasing or of like, you know, say like it definitely feels like, you know, you're getting comfortable with being solo, okay? Even if you are in a relationship or whatever, it's definitely feeling like learning how to like keep yourself warm is what I'm hearing, okay? So you're going through these growing pains, just understand, like, breathe through it is what Spirit's saying, and be patient with this process of becoming someone new, okay? And we have the magic card, which we did have the magician. It says, I'm not underestimating my own magic anymore. Power, beginnings, and transformation. Back to that death energy, transformation, okay? And so this is a time of healing, a time of transformation and purging, and also replacing it, right? It's definitely feeling like whenever, in the Bible, Jesus talks about the story about the guy he was possessed by spirits, by demons, and like whenever the demons were cast out of him, because he did not replace it with peace of the Holy Spirit, the demons came back stronger tenfold, okay? And so definitely there's a message coming through. Spirit wants you to replace whatever was you felt like you let go of. Spirit saying it's very important for you to fill it with something that's positive. Fill it with something that is of good rapport, because if you don't, then, you know, that energy can't circle back around. So in order to, you know, you have to let it go and then replace it with something new, okay? So definitely this time period, you're kind of getting your priorities in check and not letting certain things come back around to distract you off this path that you've finally chosen for yourself, okay? And you're done underestimating your own magic, right? That's the vibe coming through, period. So bottom of the deck, we have, yeah, call your energy back to you. Energy, power, aura, and depletion. Like I said, you're calling your energy back to yourself, and you're no longer letting people or situations fragment you, okay? So you're ready for this change. You're ready for this evolution, and this is just another level up, okay? You're going through this major level up, okay, in your consciousness. All right, boo? So you got this. Call your energy back to you. Do what you got to do for your own soul, period, okay? And don't let people get up in your face and try to, you know, dictate the narrative or dictate, like, you know, what you got going on. You have free will. You can do literally anything that you put your mind to. You can do anything you want to do. Like, you can literally move across the country if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could do anything. Okay, so this is a time period to really reevaluate and say, what do I really want for myself? Like, what do I want my life to really look like? Because what was before, it ain't working. You know what I'm saying? And now that is gone. Now we gotta reinvent. Now we gotta, you know, do the work, do the planning, and like really think about things like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reading I have for you, darling. I send you so much love. If this resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out. Until next time, you have a blessed, wonderful day. Ta-ta.